In that last match, you've always got the chance to make a play happen and find some very quick kills, especially if you're using the Abyss correctly. So, a lot to look forward to as we do get into our first game, Magical.
Yeah, first game, and we got a pretty south drop here. We're going to have a lot of teams on the east side and southern. Looking at Scavenger's Bay as well, having some of the loot that you can get from there, having the gold armor, and not seeing anywhere else really with that high priority that we could see for teams. We're getting a couple drops, though, at Academy, and I like to see this already, a couple teams ready to fight.
When I look at a game like this, especially when bombers are going to be in here, you can take early game 50-50s or things like Academy. You can go for the Vault, which is likely going to be a 50-50 as well. But those are really the only two places that you can grab a solid advantage in the early game. So the teams you're seeing right now, those are the teams that really want to take the bull by the horns, metaphorically, and run away with this game by getting early level advantages, by taking down other squads.
But look at this. We're having, at Academy, 3 teams all vying for the farm to get towards that all-important cap that we have at 4. But we do have one failing. Main characters deciding not to stay for the battle, but it's going to be Passion Fruit and Moonlit Battlegrounds that are trying to fight against one another, fighting for control, but the hook going wide from DJ Montague. I feel like that is going to be the call to retreat for both squads.
I did notice that we had a few squads landing in the south as well. It was specifically Zen that stood out to me. Over at Cold Fang Keep, they're going to have the ability to pick up a lot of gold in the early game, a much smoother transition into the late game. But anybody coming out of Academy right now, if you haven't gotten the majority of the camps in here, you're going to be coming out with not a lot of other things to rotate into, not a lot of other camps that you can take advantage of. So when we come into day 2, teams that are not playing out of things like Cold Fang Keep are going to be that much more pressed for resources.
But yeah, we are in day 2. This is day 2 of the Live in La Viva Life broadcast.
You had me tripping for a second there. I was like, no way, no way.
I got him already getting my co-caster off balance.
Whew. I'm sweating. I do want to bring up real quickly before we cut away from them, Ult, who were on your screens moments ago, just taking a camp, have picked up 2 early gold armors that'll do them a lot of good in the early game, and SNR coming down with double blues as well, making these teams much more resilient to damage. Ult, interestingly, do not have their ults just yet, although we'll be resolving that in a few short minutes. They are a team with a lot of engaged tools, however, whereas SNR really have Firefox, have Bishop, but once they blow those key engaged tools, they don't have a lot of ways to stay on the front line of a fight.
I am kind of curious with our teams that went to Academy if any of them picked up some Tomes of Knowledge, so that way they can get an early level 5 compared to everyone else who's going to be at level 4, while Faye here against Occult Coon. Both of them pushing Cult. We have a third party. SNR on the other side looking to see if they can maybe snipe some retreating Occult members. But Faye are actually the ones pushing forward, and Occult decide to back out, seeing that there was a third squad.
Now, I know you've been playing a lot of Hudson because we talked about it and I insulted you about it before the, for the matches. I am not enjoying going up against Hudson players right now. But talk to me a little bit about the role of Hudson in these team compositions.
So when I play Hudson, it's real. Oh, hold on. We'll put that on pause right now, because it almost looked like there was going to be our first spike right there. The follow-up. Main characters chasing down Riftwalkers. They found Prideful Icarus, but Icarus outplaying them. Giant Trip Roll is on the other side, but wasn't able to actually get onto Prideful, who should be able to retreat, look for the team. But that Jewel is on the attack, looking for the knock. Not able to get it just yet, but the dash forward, looking for the Eye of the Storm. Has to crash in. Who's going to get the first knock? It's going to go over. Where is it? Prideful, so long did he survive, but finally gets knocked.
So close to the Abyss. That was the best Icarus I've ever seen, but unfortunately doesn't manage to make it work out as a 1v4. It is really just not going to work in their favor. I did appreciate the changes there to Abyss aiming as well, making it a little bit easier to take down Icarus when it might have been impossible in previous playtests.
Okay, here, I can talk about Hudson now. I don't think there's going to be a fight. So Hudson, your role is you're like an off tank, right? You're going to have a lot of mid-range damage, as well as good zone control. So when you play Hudson, you really want to see if your team can kind of take control of a lot of these choke points. Utilize the Gatling gun when you have the spin barrels up, and you just pretty much free fire down that corridor. So that way, anyone who tries to engage, especially things like Bishop, Brawl, see Jins try to play aggressively into it, you're going to take a lot of damage before you even get to the team. one of the best hunters to play Hudson with is Oath. I think the second best is probably Aluna. Aluna goes well with everything, let's be honest. Probably the strongest support. Even if Zeph's good, Aluna's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, Luna is incredibly powerful. We're still seeing a lot of Zeph, interestingly, in these specific show matches. I think for a lot of the versatility that Zeph brings to the table and mobility as well. And BG looking for an engage, actually not running a true dedicated support of their own, opting for the Oath, as a lot of teams have done as well.
Yeah, I think Oath is just a really strong hunter as well. Not only are you a great frontliner, but having the heals you can provide as well, the shields too, make it so that you can just stand behind them. If you get a good pull here from Hunt, you'll like that right there on the friendly odd enemies. Moonlight find a nice knock on with JustReliq and get that knock. Even we're able to find one on one more, but it's going to be the Hunt chasing away Poe, making sure that they take control of any of the farm, while Passion Fruit main characters were skirmishing a little bit, getting them really low, but unfortunately for Jang in a bad spot and cannot escape. It is the third party knock that is going over to THG.
Allowing a reset on the other side, MC do get another player back in. Giant Chipperl on the north, playing very much an off role with Brawl. Is going to look for another entrance in. Great stun onto Tim the Moose. Engagement from Prismatic. We're going really hard on THG.
You gotta love that from Felix. Goes for the flamethrower right on top of him with a Jin to follow up. They get the double knocks there, and they're looking to hunt down the half goats with only one surviving. That's going to be the chase down. Felix trying to survive, but the first team eliminated is going to be your half goats with main characters getting it.
Between Dylan and Chipperl, it is an AoE nightmare when Firefox and Brawl are on top of you. The team fight, it already feels lost magical, and we're going to see a lot of that exact same game plan. Engage with the Firefox, follow up with the Brawl, and give your opponent no way to stand and fight.
Right now, Rift Walkers trying to make sure there's no escape here for the side of friendly odd enemies. Do get the one knock, got low there from Parya, was able to make it out. Staying with Galaxy, just running away, but there's the Hunt. Garb knows that there's not much that they can do here for friendly odd enemies, and they have to go right past, there it is, the bomb squad. Not actually getting tagged for it. Got a little bit lucky that there was a tight corridor that they could go around.
You know what's crazy, Magical, is that we're this deep into the game, and souls haven't even become an issue. Teams are not yet engaging over these souls, as they've had so many opportunities to fight each other instead. We've got another engagement breaking out, and Chipperl and Dylan, again, are all over another squad.
Look at this. That is a lot of damage on the water blaze, but more on a Jang, as Jang did get knocked down earlier, but was able to get revived, and now it looks like they're going to have to revive water blaze, because that's going to be another knock for main characters.
Like, actually, what do you do against the main characters who give you absolutely no room to breathe, even on top of the spawn? We've got nukes coming in, Magical!
Gotta be careful, main characters looking for the play, but the Eye of the Storm with the crash down, find new Salsa and looking for Jakku. They've got the chase, they've got the resets. Jakku's gonna get knocked, improving, and Dylan will make sure of it.
There's literally no character on this team, no player on this team that is comfortable sitting in the back lines, and I am scared for Zen as they eat another engagement. Chipperl starts it off. Dylan moves in with the fiery path. Flight of the Firefox doing a lot of work, but Dylan's alone in the front lines. Needs Prismatic and improving.
And they're going for the dash in. That's a brawl into the back line. Getting the knock. There goes one from Zen. There's two. Main characters sure as hell looking like the main characters in this match, because they get another team wiped.
What a spike at the end. Main characters have so many kills between them right now, and Zen, with just one player left alive, I think are going to make it out.
Yeah, they got it. Okay,
the nuke stressed me out.
Oh, Passion Fruit. Water Blaze is on the other side, but there's only two here. Wind Forcer trying to find Pin. It seems that Water Blaze just wants to go for the respawns themselves. They're going to jetpack away, while Pin needs to do something as well. Main characters finding the two members of Passion Fruit, going for the exchange, but improving did take a lot. That's going to be a burst of damage on the other side with the minion. The Pokeball has been thrown out. But it does seem that Passion Fruit are fine, unless Pin, nearly sniping a free kill there as the circle is starting to push into them.
Over through the wall as well, seeking another angle. RFT seem to have main characters on the back foot as again improving. Finds themselves right next to another squad and manages to disengage. Now that we're on the train, there's actually the opportunity for a res if Improving wants to go for it. But Faye are here. Faye cut off the retreat, and Improving again on Jewel has to make a magical escape.
Burn Ice is going to bail. The rest of the team didn't want to go for the train play, so Improving, getting off that as well. Might be nice, trying to get back towards the team while main character just farming it up a little bit. We've only had the one team still wipe.
Enemy
Which is
Oracle
getting us to these tight corridors. It's going to be really curious. Look at how many teams are still on the map.
Is anyone else asking themselves how Improving got so separated from the rest of the squad? The fact that they're still all alive is incredible, and it's likely going to turn into another team fight engage because we know they're just south of this fight where Ult and MBG are going head-to-head.
And they're looking for the anti-heal. They've got the stun. There's going to be the first knock onto a call. Second one onto New Salsa. One member surviving again. Jaku is going to be the one to get out of there. They even have Ludo way over there. But there's not really anything to play except for that respawn in a bad spot because Moonlit Battlegrounds.
Here come main characters.
But here come main characters looking for the fight as they got a great engage with the Felix, but they got to be so careful. The Jewel with the Eye of the Storm goes to the back line. Oh, but she gets the knock on DJ Montague, but not able to find it. Improving on the other side, tries to throw out the Pokeball, but he's got to be careful. There's still these knocks. Moonlit Battlegrounds got pinched completely by main characters. Even with the Felix getting the shield, you don't have enough to heal back, and you are out of there.
Main characters continue their rampage. We have seen so many kills go their way, and this time I think Moonlit Battlegrounds gave them the toughest fight they've had so far, really dancing in and out, playing the game of main characters and taking 1v1s. This time though, we're seeing Hudson on the high ground farm up on foe.
Yeah, just getting that free damage, but it does seem that foe were able to get the 3 away. Peeling back towards their base, but with the respawn in a bad spot as well. I don't think foe are actually going to get there. They're just going to go straight through the lasers, realizing that that's a better play. But Ludo's this whole time been hoping to get to that respawn point and can't do it, knowing there's so many players and teams around them.
Characters are going to see this. Jaku even gets eaten by the lasers too. Dylan looking for the kill is going to go with the dash over the wall. Jaku absolutely getting caught by main characters. There is nowhere to go for this Felix.
I thought for a second that Jaku was about to outplay them, but right there with Ludo going down too. Occult Coon have been kicked out of the lobby. They are down. Only 5 teams here. We can see where a lot of the map is going to start pushing towards right there on Underrot. We have a lot of these zones kind of controlled by some of the eyes that have been taking these abyssal powers, making it really awkward. I think when we look at a team like Passion Fruit or way south.
We've had a lot of engagements so far as well, so it's worth noting that our souls have been taken meanwhile. With XP soul and damage soul now both given out, I can presume I think that main characters did not get one as much as we have been following in this game. And I only say that because surely if they got one, we would know.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably Passion Fruits as they were the ones there. But looking at, right now, main characters don't want to get any of these souls. They just want fight. And they're even looking for the pinch on a Fable. About to get 3-man squatted. Both teams having the pinch on a Fable who have to go right down center and try to avoid, but they are getting corralled into a horrible spot. They've got their backs up against the wall, and they got to be cautious, but they do have at least that Hudson that does make it a little bit dicey to play in those tight corridors.
It's crazy that main characters survived this as well, given that they clearly did not have enough Vive Brood to survive and thrive, stay in the engagement for a little while. The fact that they disengage now, I think, is going to be a mental reset for them. Yes, they've taken a lot of fights, but there are other teams that are coming into the end game very prepared. A quick stop by the Forge may still have them running into ult just below, as both those teams should converge on their rotation into the next circle.
We are getting a little bit more farming up at this moment, since now with more teams eliminated, only 5 remaining. There's a little bit more space, a little bit more wiggle room for these teams to start setting up. We even saw that they were starting to send out some of the camps, trying to get control of these, like the bruise, and turned up a little bit so they have a little bit more improved healing. But I think this is where, for main characters, it's actually probably going to hurt them a little bit more because we do know that one team has gotten a soul. That's going to give them a little bit of an edge in these fights. And of course, you see main characters, they're never done fighting. They always are looking for this one as Trav gets chased down but is able to escape away from prismaticism.
Our fairly odd enemies disengage, but into what? Riftwalkers come up right behind them. And Trav, in danger, has already used the dash to disengage right back into the fire from whence they came. I can't believe Trav is getting out right now. Improving, chases him down, shuts that dream down quick.
Says no way you're getting out of this one alive. And now the team hoping that they can get onto the respawn or in a bad spot because main characters again are here. That's going to be the jetpack and a lot of damage to only these two members who are caught in a bad spot. You have to go through the storm if you want to escape. They're splitting up. Here comes the choo-choo train that might actually save you a little bit. No, it won't. Argus can't get out of that one. Try to dash back into the train, but gets wiped as there's a pushback into the storm. And look how much damage it's doing. They got to hopefully get back, but I don't think they have enough healing to survive from this storm. Yeah, realizing it was all too late.
An unfortunate way to go, but really well fought. I think Galaxy Boy did a great job of surviving on Oath, opening things up for the team, even in that 3v4 at the end. And while it was a well-thought game, now we're going to move on to see what other Oath plays can be made, perhaps by Dunmere, who takes to the front lines right now. It is up against Passion Fruit, a very well-prepared team, and importantly, with zone control to boot, being one of our squads to run Celeste with a bit of a panic button should they need it.
I like that. Duke in the zone, trying to take away the base camps. As it is going to be Rift Walkers getting pinched again. It's a third-man squad being main characters who are always looking for the battle, trying to go for the ice prison to stay alive. Taking the damage of Prideful, getting chased down, improving Stool. Cannot get away from that at all, because that is able to chase down everything. Even looking for Prideful on the other side. Guess who's here? It is improving, knowing that there's no escape there for Rift Walkers. Only one does so.
Pops yet another set of kills. There are so many going the way of main characters this game. I see no escape. Prismatic certainly not giving one, is high up into the sky. They go on Bishop. Now, Passion Fruit have found main characters, and I'm very curious how this engagement will go. Immediate isolation of Improving. In fact, Improving might go down. Does get missed with that last shot, but out comes the Celestial, finding a stun, finding a knock. Main characters have lost one. Passion Fruit still have all four up. Giant Shipperl moves into the front lines on Brawl. Needs a reset, but will go down.
And they'll get main characters still there, looking for the fight, was able to get a nice knock. Passion Fruit trying to play into the Bishop, who flies away. But here comes Faye on the hunt, with Passion Fruit helping out Rift Walkers. Only have this one here, trying to get the knock up, tries to back up, getting to the team, but finally gets knocked over the void. The snipe almost getting it, there goes Passion Fruit, eliminating a team, but they are not done. That's a nice light clone away. But looking at how Rift Walkers have to play, they have to get back so they can start getting these revives.
We are down into our top 3 squads now, and Rift Walkers take a reset, as do Faye, who are juiced up, but main characters may be getting back into it. They've got no space, though, and Prismaticism does disengage temporarily, getting away from the Hudson, but where are you going to find Derez? There's no Most Wanted near Prismaticism right now, and there must be another way back into this game for the squad.
Main characters played so well all game long, but now it's on to Prismaticism to be the hero for the team and somehow get them back while Faye is on the hunt. Another hover wings away, just flying all across the map at the moment. Oh no, that's tragic. The bombing rate is going to be right on top of him, trying to get as much of it as possible. But here's going to be Rift Walkers, who got their team back up and are still vying for that top 2 spot.
Now for Prismaticism, one of your win conditions here, outside of course, getting the teams back into the game, is going to be to force these last 2 squads into each other. And you can absolutely see with the hover wings what he's trying to do. Yes, look for an opportunity to get his team back in, but importantly, dance on the line between 2 squads and force an overextension by 1. We do finally have the Most Wanted picked up, so if you can stall, as Bishop is wont to do for a very long time, Prismaticism may still see the return of main characters.
That's what they're trying to do. They're hoping that this Bishop is going to be able to survive long enough with that to make it so they can survive. Doing a great job with the hover wings to get away, but Scrab is still there, looking for this knockup. But just hover wings over this terrain. Something's got to change here. You got a minute and a half left before the revive's going to be there, and a bombing raid will split up and give more time to main characters.
Yeah, and that's fantastic for them, and I think for Rift Walkers and Faye, you're looking at each other now and trying to figure out who is going to take this engagement, because there's really no way you end up taking this with Prismaticism. He is going to get away almost every time. And if I were Riftwalkers, I'd be looking for a good position because you really have none otherwise. Prismaticizm again jumps over the wall. Hey, look for this. Penguin has got a lot of AP stacked on them. And Prismaticizm again
He can't
uses
keep doing
these
this.
hover wings.
He's just constantly juking them over this wall, and even when they thought they had the play where they separated to make sure he couldn't get away, has got 40 seconds left. Prismaticism, the main character, trying to do it once again. Hover wings out of there once more. You can't keep getting away with this.
I never thought that I would see the double hover wings meta come for me, but after watching this game, you cannot deny how powerful this strategy is. We are going to see all of main characters return, but the Titans, Faye, who have sat up there for so long, they haven't been playing Hunters, they haven't been looking for Prismaticism, they have been sitting here stacking AP with the additional shards on Flappy Penguin, and all that Faye are looking for is a win. They're going to be sandwiched now, however, as Prismaticism gets the whole team back in.
And look at that, uses the hover wings to look for the play, immediately finding out Faye. But it's gonna be both teams dancing around with the circle, pushing them all into each other. Full on 4v4v4 for both squads. Giant Trip Roll does find out the Hudson on the other side. Nobody wants to start the engage just yet. In a bad spot as the circle starts to push in the side of Riftwalkers. But with that bridge and bridge alone being your salvation, you gotta find something. You're in a horrible spot if you're Riftwalkers. Well, Fable are gonna be the first ones on the call, trying to get over, get any damage at the moment. But Faye are in a great position, and now where do you go? Where do you go here, Riftwalkers? You have to go through the storm to try to get away, but the bombing grade puts you right back into main character, using the Ice Prison to get a little bit of time and a little bit of zone control, but still terrible spot.
And now you really can't fend off main characters either. The nukes on top of them, one from the plane, one from main characters, and it just is ending lives. Riftmakers are going to lose one temporarily, and while they do get everyone back in, main characters are looking for an engagement, are looking for a way to punish this. They just cannot disrespect Faye.
No, and look at how the circle continues to push teams around. It is really acting as a whole team in itself, with making everyone play towards different sides of the map, constantly back and forth. And right now, it is giving Riftwalkers, where they had lost the advantage. They are now the one with the high ground advantage. But look at the background. It's Prismaticism was looking for the engagement just with the hover wings to spot out and do some scoping at the moment.
Chipper's searching for this as well, and and main characters have rightly identified that in a game where Flappy Penguin is alive, you cannot win it. There is so much AP stacked on top of this Ghost that ultimately it's looking like Flappy Penguin with defensive positioning is just taking away resources. There is no way to effectively get on top of Faye, who have so many defensive capabilities. That's letting alone the Hudson that we already talked about. Prismaticism does go over, looking for an angle, searching for some sort of way to start a fight, but he's not going to find one before Improving goes down.
And now, Giant Trip Roll feels like they're forced. They have to get towards this other side, but they've been spotted out by Riftwalkers, getting the knock. But here's Prismaticism again, hover wings over everybody. Are you going to go for another crown? Well, there's going to be the full knocks into the rest of your squad, and they're going to be the fight with the Surf Shatter, doing a lot to both sides. Fable trying to dash in, while Riftwalkers trying to walk their way over the abyss and void so they can get a safer spot. But keep in mind, Prismaticism has the crown, looking for some knocks themselves. Pins on top of Riftwalkers, nearly finds it there. Will get one knock, gets the team back up, not just yet. Has to be careful, because that's going to be the bombing grade, putting in a bad spot yet again. Hover wings out of there. That's going to be main characters back in this one with Riftwalkers getting spotted out. They're going to be eliminated before main characters. Unless maybe Cool, I can get away from that one, but that's going to be Faye looking for the engage, looking for the knockback. Giant Trip Roll taking a lot of the attention away. Prismaticism again looking for the crown, while Baby is still there, still alive. We have 3 squads that have not gone out just yet. One of them's gonna fall. It's looking like it's gonna be the side of Riftwalkers, with main characters only having one, being Giant Trip Roll against Faye, against the world. But Faye knew that they had the match.